Hey everybody, it's Gary here again. I wasn't going to do another one after my first one a little while ago, but here it is again, Friday the 15th. But I wanted to touch on something on a little bit more serious content today. Since my surgery, I'm married to my house. I can't go anywhere, so I'm watching more and more TV, and I like to watch documentaries. That's something I like because it's educational. Today's episode, I'm going to call it "How High is High." Um, there was a program on last night I was watching late because I gotta ice my shoulder every hour on the hour, so I can't really sleep for the first couple days. And there was a show on last night about fentanyl in America. Do you know 200 people die every single day from fentanyl use? Um, and a lot of times it's from what the show was saying that they don't even know it's being laced in other drugs like marijuana or cocaine, and fentanyl happens to be sprinkled in there. But what about people that know fentanyl? Oh, let me try it. Oh, what's fentanyl do? It gets you really high. Oh, I'll try it. Yeah, let me try it. 200 people die daily from that shit. Daily. Um, I got a close friend who I knew someone a long time ago who had a child who was addicted to heroin. And she started using heroin at a young age. I mean, I don't know how old she was. You know, maybe over 18, but not quite 21. Started out with just marijuana and just escalated. I think most Americans know in schools they teach it. I think most young Americans know that, hey, heroin kills you, fuckers. Heroin is deadly. Fentanyl is deadly. My question is, what drives young adults, even older adults, to get involved with heroin? Now, only 11 people die, because I was Googling it this morning before I did the show, because I wanted to make sure I was correct. Approximately 199 people die every day, every single day in America from fentanyl. Only 11 people die every day from heroin. I mean, only, but still 11 is 11. I'm sure that's way down. I didn't go back into the history of heroin, but I know it's been around for a long time, along with cocaine and all that other good stuff. That's a joke. I don't think it's good stuff. But when's enough? How high do you have to be? How high is high? How high? When I was in high school, we smoked grass. I graduated high school in 1979. The drug of choice was marijuana. I didn't drink alcohol until I moved to Cincinnati. I didn't have my first alcoholic beverage till I was, I think, 20. I mean, it wasn't around. It wasn't around. We smoked cigarettes, and occasionally we'd get high. There was no alcohol use in my high school class. No one drank alcohol. Maybe it was a generational thing. I don't know. I didn't know anyone in my crowd. You know, I played in the garage band. I played in sports. I did stuff in high school. None of my peers. I'd go to parties. None of my peers. There was never alcohol introduced in any parties. So maybe it's a generational thing. I don't know. I got nieces and nephews. They're all clean. But I wonder how one young adult or multiple young adults get influenced knowing of the dangers of heroin or cocaine or crack or any of those deadly drugs. Oh yeah, hey, jam it in my arm? Sure, here, find a vein. Stick it in there. Oh, it's got to be good. Oh, it's going to be good. Oh, I bet I'll just do it one time. I'll just do it one time. I'll only do it one time. Just want to try it. Then they get hooked. I tried cocaine one time. One time. Some friends of mine from my 40th birthday party, they said, hey, Gary, let's try some. I want you to try some cocaine for your birthday. You're turning 40. I said, I'm not putting that shit up my nose. Oh, you got to try it, Gary. I'm not putting that shit up my nose. I'll smoke a joint with you, but I'm not going to put that shit up my nose. Oh, Gary, you got to try it. And these were good friends. These are my wingmen. These were the guys I used to go drinking with. And I tried it. I'll tell you what, I liked it so much I never did it again. You know, I'm not a Rhodes Scholar. I didn't go to college, but I have common sense, see? I have common sense. I'm street smart. I was raised right. You know, I knew up until that point, I've heard stories of people I knew in passing and heard of people of friends of friends of friends of someone's child that OD'd on coke or crack cocaine or heroin. And I just wonder how people get into that shit. How? How is it possible? Knowing that it's going to fuck you up. There was a show last night I was watching. It was a documentary on, and I'm not going to get it right because I forget the girl's name. And even if I remembered her name, I wouldn't say it. But her parents were talking about their 26-year-old daughter that died of fentanyl. They volleyed between the father talking about their daughter first and then the mother talking about their deceased daughter. And it was like a eulogy. Oh, she was great at sports. Oh, she was very popular. Oh, this, oh, that. They talked about all the positive things that their daughter was. She was this, she was this, she was this, she was this. Which reminds me of my upbringing a little bit. So, of course, they're going to say positive things about their deceased daughter. Of course they are. Of course they are. They're not going to say anything negative about their daughter. They love their daughter. And they miss their daughter. But it got me thinking about that because I'm sure young Americans, I'm not a parent, so I don't know. I'm only the way I was raised. You know, I had a loving mother. She was my cheerleader and my best friend. My father was a good provider, but he was hardcore. He was tough on us. It was just a generational thing, I'm sure. I mean, I was a baby boomer. He was tough on me and my brothers. If we did something bad at a young age, he took his belt off and beat us with it. But everyone else on the street was getting the same thing. That's how it was in the 60s growing up. You get the strap on your ass. But I guess where I'm going with this is, you know that they're talking positively about their loved one, their daughter that died in this documentary I watched last night. They're talking positive things, and she was this. She was the head of her class. She was valedictorian. She was this and the prom queen, blah, 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 down the road about their daughter. But in hindsight, in their darkest hours, somewhere along the line, something got messed up. If she was all these things, and please, people watching this, don't try not to judge me for being critical. But I look outside the box on a lot of subjects. Okay? That said, they're giving this positive eulogy on this documentary that I watched last night of this beautiful girl. They showed a picture of her. She was this, and this, popular, all these things, valedictorian, prom queen, never had a bad thing to say about her fellow peers, nothing, blah, blah, blah. How hard were you on your daughter, on her upbringing? How critical were you of your daughter, in their darkest hours, of these parents' darkest hours? Do you think they think back and maybe I shouldn't have been so hard on my daughter? Maybe I shouldn't have been so critical on my daughter. I had a critical father growing up. Oh, yeah. So I can relate to that. So there's positive and there's negative. There's yin and there's yang. There's odd and there's even. No one's 100% perfect. The eulogy you're giving on the documentary about your daughter who died of fentanyl. Tragic. Oh, tragic. But all we were hearing on the documentary was all these positive things about their daughter. But what went beyond, what happened behind, what I'm trying to get at is what happened behind the scenes on her upbringing. Did she feel less than? This is where I'm going. Did she feel less than as a young adult? Because maybe her parents were critical of her. Maybe her parents were hard on her. Maybe they were driving her to do more. Become better at this, become better at that. Maybe she felt less than. We don't know. And certainly on a documentary, they're not going to put that out there. But I think outside the box. I'm a realist. I speak from the real world. And there's no way any child is that perfect. Of course, on any documentary you hear across the world, across the country, with parents talking about loved ones that died tragically of a drug overdose in America, they're not going to say anything negative about their loved one, their brother, their sister, their daughter, their son. But in their darkest hour, I'm sure that they have regrets. Regret's a horrible thing, too. Regret is just a horrible thing. But in America, in school, they're teaching kids heroin's bad. Fentanyl's bad. Cocaine's bad. Alcohol. That's another story, man. It's legal, but it's poison. I can go on and on and on about this, and I don't have all day for it today. I just don't. I don't have it in me. But I felt that. And I'm going to come back and talk about this kind of stuff because I don't drink alcohol anymore. There's a reason. But that show last night, I only got through half of it because I had to turn it off. Because it was like, come on, I want the real story, but I'm not going to hear the real story. And they're choking back tears talking about their beautiful daughter and how she died of fentanyl. How high is high? And what drove this beautiful daughter to use the drugs in the first place? See, that's like the Wizard of Oz, the great, oh, powerful Oz behind the curtain. What's going on behind the curtain in the house? What's going on in the household to drive that kid to do that? Does it sound like I'm blaming the parents? Well, yeah. But I don't know, and no one will ever know. If a young adult, an impressionable, the human brain does not completely develop until you're 25 years old. It's a fact. You can look it up. You're at an impressionable age until you're 25 years old. Who's to say? Maybe they were getting peer pressure at school. Maybe they broke up. Maybe they were going out with a boy that used drugs. No one knows how they got introduced to it. But if they were, maybe something had to happen in the household. Right? It all starts at the household. How you raise your children. Were you hard on them? Did you make them feel less than? Did you support them? Were you too busy at work? Were you too busy on your job? Were you too busy to be involved with your children? That's all I got. I don't want to go into this too deep, but I did want to touch on this a little bit today. Because now that I'm home and I'm, post-surgery and I'm hanging out, I'm watching more documentaries and I see this stuff and it makes me sick. So I'm sure I'll talk a little bit more about this stuff in the future episodes, because although a lot of my stuff is comical and my life experiences are funny, because they are. I've had a lot of jobs. I've done a lot of things. I'm a joker at heart, but there's a lot of serious stuff. This is a serious side of me. I'm a deep thinker. I'm a forward thinker. And I think about this shit. That's all I got. I don't want to go into it too much. I'll probably do another one of these, the Preakness is tomorrow. Okay, tomorrow morning I'm going to come up in the morning and I'm going to give everybody a horse. I'll look at the horse forms today. And I'll give you all a horse if you're going to bet a horse for the Preakness Stakes. That's all I got. Take care of yourselves and each other. Thanks again for stopping by and looking at my content. And I know it was a little bit on the serious side today, but I felt it was necessary to talk about. Peace out.